Hello and welcome to the Shane Show. I'm Shane Connick. Today we're going to bring in a member of the Rutgers University Scarlet Knights field hockey team, a sport that she did not start playing until her sophomore year of high school. A longtime ice hockey player, she actually co-founded the Randolph girls ice hockey program during her sophomore year of high school. An alumna of Randolph High School, Miss Carly Snarski. Carly, welcome to the Shane Show. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Of course. So I was just talking about how you did not play field hockey until your second year in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what made you decide to kind of just take up that sport that late in your athletic career?
So when I was coming into high school, my freshman year, I was like, what fall sport should I play? I've played soccer my whole life, but I'm like, should I try field hockey? And I'm like, no, I'm going to play soccer. I've played it all these years. I'm not going to try a new sport. And then freshman year, I broke my leg playing soccer. So I was like, okay, I'm done with that. So I decided to play field hockey my sophomore year instead of soccer. And I kind of just picked it up right from the start, which is very crazy.
And so in what ways do you think that your experience on the ice playing a very similar sport helped you as you started to learn the sport of field hockey?
Oh, yeah. I credit all my ice hockey skills and how it helped me so much when I first started playing field hockey, because I knew how to hold a stick, just basic skills. And there's even skills that are unique that I take from ice hockey. My coaches now will be like, oh my God, that's such an ice hockey skill. So there's a lot that translates onto the field, I think.
And so you were saying that you've also played soccer. I know you played lacrosse in the spring as well, playing field hockey now, playing ice hockey. Throughout your life, was field hockey, especially as you started to play it later on in high school, a sport you consider your favorite?
Not necessarily. It wasn't. And it wasn't at first, I don't think. I started playing club, and so it kind of became more a bigger part in my life. But it was originally all ice hockey, for the most of my life.
And speaking of ice hockey, which you played throughout your life, but then you got to high school and you also realized that Randolph High School, along with most other high schools, didn't have a girls' ice hockey program.
Mm-hmm.
During your sophomore year in 2016, you, along with Mackenzie Varell and Morgan Yurchuk, two of your classmates, actually founded your school's girls' ice hockey program. At the time you started it, it was a club sport. So you had practice, I think, what was it, 5 or 6 in the morning or something like that?
Yep, 5:15 or 5:30 it was.
And then you would have those crazy early practices. You have some games, I think, against some other schools, but overall it's more of kind of a club. And then by the time you graduated in 2019, it was an official varsity sport. There was a varsity team. There was a JV team. You had a lot of people in school, everyone pretty much knew about it, was a fan of it. Did you possibly envision the growth that you were going to see it by the time that you left?
Not that I didn't think it was going to be that big. I remember when we first started, we were sending around a sign up list. We're like, who wants to play? And people are like, oh, maybe I'll play. But then like you said, by the end of my high school years, we had over 30 girls playing, and a lot of them never skated before, never picked up a stick, and they were actually playing the full game. So it was really cool to see that.
Yeah, and then you get to Rutgers now, playing specifically focusing on field hockey. And you had a great career at Randolph. You knocked in 21 goals, picked up 31 assists, and you were told that you were going to be redshirted for your first year at Rutgers. Now, about your experience overall there, being redshirted this first year, what was it like? Were you still around the team in the same ways? Were you practicing just as much?
Mm-hmm. So we had individual meetings after our preseason, and my coaches brought it up to me. It wasn't like they told me, oh, you have to redshirt. It was a mutual decision, and it was honestly the best decision I've made in my field hockey career, because I only had 3 years of field hockey under my belt, so it let me just develop. I focused on practicing. I got to practice with the team. I got to do everything, travel, even warm up for games. So it was like I was fully on the team. It wasn't any different, and they didn't treat me any different. So it was really, I think, a great experience. And especially, I've heard people who've redshirted at other schools, and they weren't treated the same. So Rutgers made it like really a really good experience.
That's great. And also now being that you played ice hockey throughout your whole life, was it hard to hang up the skates or, well, you probably didn't hang up the skates. You probably still are playing whatever, but was it hard to kind of not really be focusing on that and be playing a different sport year round?
I found it really weird that I was only playing one sport. Like I'm used to running from like field hockey practice to an ice hockey game and going back and forth. But definitely being a Division I athlete, you're busy all the time, you're playing all the time. But I miss ice hockey, I miss even lacrosse. Like I just miss playing other sports, but we had an alumni game like this past year for ice hockey, so I got to skate then and stuff. So I still try to skate when I can.
Of course. And also, so now as you look toward your future, obviously right now, everyone's life has been had a big dent put in it in whatever they're doing, no matter what they're doing. And with you, you were about to begin your sophomore year of college, your second year of field hockey, your first year actually playing for the Scarlet Knights. And now the Big Ten just announcing that it is canceling its fall sports seasons, or at least for the moment, thinking about maybe playing them in the spring. With that said, what do you have coming up this fall?
So we're back on campus. We're training 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. So we're going to be like full force. And honestly, I'm just looking forward to continuing like practicing and training because I haven't stepped on a field since March with my team. So I'm looking forward to playing games and just being with everyone. Even though we're not playing, we're still going to get better. We're still going to like develop our team. So I'm excited.
And also, when you look at the sport of field hockey specifically, obviously you have a unique experience there because you haven't been playing it nearly as long. But are there any kinds of cool lessons or things, even not even related to the field, that you've learned from the sport?
Definitely just to keep working at it. A lot of the times, like especially for me, I find that I can't do a certain skill, but I come home and I like sit in my backyard and do it over and over again until I get it right, and I finally do. So it's just like I've learned like to have a strong work ethic and like keep going with it because it's paid off, I think, for me.
Carly, from high school, from Randolph High School, Randolph Middle School to the Big Ten, it's always great talking to you. Thank you for coming on to the show today.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning into this edition of The Shane Show. See you next time. Catch you on the flip side.